Welcome to the Imaginative Storm Writing Prompt of the Week session. I'm James Nave,
I'm Allegra Houston.
and thank you ever so much for tuning in.
Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is our time because we're in Taos, New Mexico, we get on a Zoom with anybody who wants to join us. Anyone who wants to explore their imagination, their creativity, and write with a group. We do a 10-minute writing prompt, but it takes us an hour to do it because there's some prep for it. And then there's the afters, which is we break up into breakout rooms and read our work aloud to one another.
And after we read the work, we spend about a half an hour just having a conversation about the experiences we've all had on the call. So this morning on our call, we offered our Saturday morning group an image, and we would like to offer you that image now and ask you to write words based on that image. Allegra, do you want to say any more about that?
Yeah, just generate words. This is not the writing part. This is just the generating words part. So as you look at this image for 2 minutes, write down on a piece of paper as a list whatever words come to mind. I want to come back to that piece of paper thing later. Whatever words come to mind, or short phrases. They don't have to have anything to do with the image. They don't have to have anything to do with one another. Just whatever pops into your mind, write it down in a list, and we will see you in 2 minutes. So I said on a piece of paper, we actually think it's a very important distinction between writing by hand and writing on a computer. And we really, really want to urge you to write by hand. There is a very different connection that happens between your imagination and your writing when you're generating it in this probably slower way. You probably write more slowly than you type. But the physical movement. Also, it takes you out of the sense that you're writing an email or writing something for work or doing anything kind of worky or administrative. It's a much more personal connection to what you're writing. So we really, really want to encourage you from here on, if you did that part on the computer, to write the 10-minute write by hand.
On the Saturday morning call, after everybody finishes generating their 2 minutes worth of words, we go around the Zoom room and ask all of the participants to give us one image or phrase or word from their list. So, what we'd like to do now is share the list we collected today with you, so you'll now have our community list to work with as well.
The nice thing about a community list, well, there are two nice things. One, that you can borrow from other people's imagination and not just have to rely on your own. But also, it's a generosity. We share these words, we give them to each other, to one another, to use as we like. So, one person asked once, is this plagiarism? I'm using somebody else's word in my writing. It's not plagiarism because that word is given to you as a gift by the person who generated that word onto their list as they looked at the prompt. So feel free to use your words and these words from the group when we get to the 10-minute writing part, which will be the next part.
So, Allegra, would you read the words, please?
So here they are. Joshua trees praying to the stars. Questionable. Lost in Mauritania. The moment before revelation. Tree limbs praising the heavens. Heaven's choir. Candelabras. Numinous. Standing people, roots skyward. Moonlight. Just a spark. Shadows and light. Million stars in the blink of an eye. Star shower. Connection. Primal. Oasis in the desert. So overexposed. Mystical illumination. Where spirits are born. Bedtime sky. The great beyond. Oops, is bush an adult content word? Mushrooms at Coachella backstage with Madonna. Light storm. Unveiled.
So now you have our community list as well as your list of words. And so what we would like for you to do is to get ready to generate 10 minutes of timed writing using as few or as many of the words on both of your lists as you please.
We like to think of this as a dance between the rational mind and the imaginative mind. You'll hear some people say, oh, you have to get out of your rational mind. I've got to get out of my rational mind. We don't think that's a very realistic ambition. And also, why would you want to? Your rational mind is a good thing. It serves you well. But it doesn't serve you so well if it's the only thing when you're writing, because it wants you to write well. And trying to write well, in my experience anyway, is the enemy of writing well. So we invite you to let your imaginative mind take over just for these 10 minutes and dance with your rational mind. Let your imaginative mind lead the dance.
And so also just one other thought. This idea of the rational mind and getting out of it, the reason why we're rethinking that, because somewhere along the way we realized, well, our rational minds really need nutrition. They really need to be fed. They need to be rewarded with something they can work with. So
and expanded.
So that's why we thought, well, the imagination is the source of the reward. So putting the two together, you create a collaboration that's a natural, normal collaboration as it should be. So that's why when we say let the imaginative storm, or let your imaginative mind lead the imaginative storm dance with your rational mind, we're encouraging you to put those two together and celebrate both halves as a whole.
Your 10 minutes starts now. So I'd like to tell you now the name and the creator of that image. It's called Triangulum, and it's a photograph by an amazing artist called Beth Moon, part of her series called Diamond Nights. And you can see more of her work at bethmoon.com.
And if you're pleased with what you just wrote, we would really appreciate it if you would post it on our Imaginative Storm Circle community. It's a place where folks go and put their work up, and folks can respond back. You can respond to the work of other people, get to know people, and as you work in the Imaginative Storm Circle, maybe you'll be inspired to also join us on the Saturday morning prompt as well. So we're developing a community, and we're glad you're in it.
So when you get to imaginativestorm.com, you'll see the Zoom link for the writing prompt of the week here right up at the top. And if you scroll down, you'll see Join Us on Circle. Click that and it will take you to the circle. If it's your first visit, it will ask you to sign up. That's free. You can use your Google or Facebook ID or create a new ID. And then you will end up on a page that looks like this. Over here on the left, you'll see the prompt of the week. And when you get there, the most recent prompt will be up at the top. And you can see this growing archive of other writing prompts that you might want to investigate. Click on the prompt, and there you will see it, along with the image, if it was an image, and the community list of words, and what other people have written in response to that prompt. And Elaine did this lovely thing of posting it in writing and then also posting her video of herself reading it. So you might want to do that too. And then if we want to comment on what other people have written, we can just hit reply. But if you scroll down to the bottom of that prompt, you'll see a place where what it says, what are your thoughts? And you can insert here what you wrote to the prompt. And then when we read it, we can hit reply and tell you what we loved about it. So there you go.
So before we go, we would like to once again encourage you to go to imaginativestorm.com, and there you will see all of the material we're working with and some of the offerings we have. For example, we have a couple of books. Allegra, tell everybody about those books.
So there are currently, soon there will be 4. Right now there are 2. How to Edit and Be Edited by me and my 35 years, I think, by now, experience as an editor.
Clock ticks.
Yeah,
it's a career. It's a career, I believe.
Kind of number. And How to Read for an Audience by Nave, and some contribution from me. He's the primary author. It's probably about like 75-25 or whatever. Anyway, Nave is the person who trained me before I went out on my book tour for my first book, which was called Love Child, a memoir of family lost and found. And I was always really terrified by public speaking and being in front of an audience, and I did not read my work well. But the publishers, Simon & Schuster, had arranged quite a big book tour for me, which was great, and I wanted to make sure that I made the most of it. So I asked Nave to train me and get good at reading for an audience, because he has decades of experience in the poetry slam world and performing for an audience. And it was very successful. And at that point, I encouraged him. I was like, all authors should have this before they go out on book tour. And so I was encouraging him to write a book. And eventually he did. And then one of my authors that I was editing said, oh, you should write a book on how to edit. So I did. And that was how the first 2 books came about. Coming up soon, very soon, we have also How to Make a Speech by Barry Barton, not by us. She is a fantastically good public speaking coach in Asheville, North Carolina. And we also will have, a little bit further down the line, a book authored by the 2 of us equally, Imaginative Storm Writer Training. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, what we're doing here with you right now is a small part of what the Imaginative Storm Writer Training book will be about. So Allegra and I have worked for the last year and a half focused on the aspects of this kind of work and how you let your imaginative mind lead that dance with your rational mind. So we
and how you use this technique
Right,
to
yeah.
build up a full length, or whatever length piece of writing, a complete piece of writing, whether it be a poem or blogs or pieces of memoir that you might want to put in a cookbook, to a full length memoir or a short story, novel, whatever it is that screenplay that you might be working to write. So the writer training is based around 10 modules plus a sort of finale of all the different aspects of writing that go into creating a piece of work. We're writing the book. There will also be a video course, and we do it as a live Zoom course over the course of 5.5 weeks, 11 sessions twice a week. And our next one, as we record this, starts in mid-March.
Mid-March 2022.
Yes.
And we offer them ongoing, so when we do the one in March, then we'll have another one a little later down the line. They're good. We like
They
doing it.
are
And
good.
why are they good? Because the people who come to the calls are fabulous people. Everybody we've ever worked with has just been an absolute delight. And the work they generate is
Extraordinary.
jaw-dropping impressive. And here we sit like we are right now thinking, good gosh, where did those people come from? And they came from this community of writers that we have, and that we're in, and that you're in. And we're glad you are with us, and we're happy to be communicating with you today.
And just to say, the writer training Zoom is limited to 10 participants. Is that right? We took it down, or did we take it down to 8?
Well, we've taken it down to 8.
We've taken it down to 8.
We've taken it down to 8,
because
yeah.
we want to only have as many people as as works well, right? So it's limited to 8. There are a couple of spots left in that March, the one that starts in March. So if you're interested, please just contact us via imaginativestorm.com. And we hope you'll also join us maybe one Saturday.
Sure.
You'll find the Zoom link at imaginativestorm.com as well.
So that's about it for now. Thanks ever so much for doing this work with us. And we do hope to see you somewhere down that line.
Goodbye.